This channel is supported by TrueFire. TrueFire is an online library of lessons from some of my favourite players. There's thousands of lessons on there. You can use the promo code JNC40 to get 40% off of any of their courses. So it's this Black Friday week, and I thought instead of, I don't know, I just had some thoughts about this in the shower actually, and I was thinking, is this a good thing or a bad thing for us consumers and for music shops? And yeah, I don't know if any of you people also have these kind of weird shower thoughts, and I think it's one of these things that came from America, and it's kind of, to me, cynically, I had my own thoughts about what that was, and was that trying to get people to make impulse purchases, buy things that they wouldn't have ordinarily, but then I also started to think, based on current events, like about, well, isn't this then eating into the margin that music shops, which I think particularly like independent music shops, I don't think have the buying power that larger music shops have, so their margins are presumably smaller. And then I thought, well, I could just ask someone who might know something about this. So this video I wanted to talk about a conversation that I kind of had with John Priest at Peach Guitars, who was like, yeah, feel free to talk about this. I've not shared anything with you that I wouldn't with a customer. Before that, I'm going to do some noodling on a guitar. Apologies. Also, TrueFire are running a Black Friday deal, and there's some $10 downloads of courses. In particular, there's Tim Lurch, Tim Miller, Jeff McElwain, but also, I forgot to mention, Alan Hines. So all of those guys have got $10 courses. The Tim Miller one, I think, is incredible, just for some physical ways to play arpeggios that sound really different. Tim Lurch, amazing kind of chill jazz lessons. Jeff McElwain has been teaching blues and jazzy blues and vibey stuff for decades. And then Alan Hines, I think an incredibly classy player who I think had a cold when he was recording at TrueFire, but some really, really cool stuff in there that might get you thinking about stuff. So yeah, $10 on them. Use the link in the description if you want. If you don't, you don't have to. There's also an all-access deal. I don't have my mic and stuff on, but it's the best all-access deal that they ever do. So it's like $79 to get all access for the year, which allows you access to all of their stuff. So like an incredible deal if you're looking for TrueFire courses. So yeah, I kind of just asked John Priest. I was like, thinking, like, I'm gonna make a video. I don't want to just be chatting nonsense as always, but I kind of wanted to get like your opinion if you didn't have any aversion to speaking to me. So we spoke on the phone for a bit, and he kind of talked about it from a couple of points of view that I thought were interesting. But one was as a retailer, and secondly was as a consumer himself of other stuff. I did double check with him that he was okay with me to sort of talk about some of this stuff. So yeah, I'm not outing anything, hopefully, John. So first of all, he kind of said I've got like a love-hate relationship with it. Now, Peach Guitars, if you're not aware, one of the things that they do is that every single guitar that comes into the shop, they basically open that box, inspect it, set it up where required, and you know, that might not take a lot on a lot of guitars, but to do that across the whole range of guitars that you sell, especially when you're selling Squiers and cheaper Yamaha guitars and stuff like that, is quite a unique selling point of Peach Guitars if you're looking for that. Not a hard sell on Peach or anything, but it's, you know, just something worth being aware of. The first thing he did was like ask me a question like, have you noticed anything around like the Black Friday deals that you're seeing? Like, has anything caught your eye? And I was like, not really. And he was like, yeah, that's been the same for me. He's into shoes as well, apparently, so he's been looking around for like good deals. And he kind of said, I feel like the Black Friday thing is sort of oversaturated. Maybe, I don't think that's the words that he exactly used, but it's sort of like over a bit. And the deals aren't necessarily any better that you might see in like the January or Easter deals. Like, we're quite used to now as customers seeing deals come up throughout the year, so there isn't as much of a, well, I don't know. Anyway, the other thing that he kind of then said was that he uses the Black Friday thing as a way to sort of deal with shifting some stock that maybe hasn't been selling as well as it could have, or, you know, stock that might have been around for a bit longer than they'd hoped. And so that's a way to kind of discount that and encourage some movement of that stock. A lot of people would have already kind of assumed that, but it's just interesting to hear it. And then he made another really good point, like, why would you discount something which you know is a good seller anyway? And so then from a consumer point of view, as me, it's like, I've in particular been looking for a Shure SM7B to buy. I'm like, well, I can't find that particularly discounted anywhere. And then I'm like looking through pedals and stuff and things that would be interesting to me. And like the stuff isn't that discounted. Well, it's kind of, why would they need to? And he kind of said, well, it would be really short-sighted, for instance, to discount something that you know you're just going to have to buy back as a retailer, and probably for more money. So, you know, say you discounted your whatever Fender custom shop guitar, made a significant discount on it, it sells, and now you don't have any Fender custom shop guitars to sell. You're going to have to go back to Fender, order some more, and potentially you end up paying more for those than the ones that you just sold at a discount. Do you get what I mean? So that for me was a bit of an insight as someone who's not worked in you know, a shop like that. You know, I just worked in a supermarket where you don't have any idea about purchasing decisions or anything like that. It's kind of interesting to me. So a really obvious but salient point, like if you're ever thinking, why don't I see deals for these things that I've been looking at? Well, probably because those things sell quite well already. You're maybe looking at things that they don't need to discount. And I contacted a company a couple of days ago. I said there was an X demo unit up, and I was like, it's Black Friday, is there anything you could do on price? And they said, nah. And John also said that any time of the year they're trying to do deals for customers anyway, so you can contact them at any time of the year. But he did say, like, there'd be no good reason for loyalty to make a huge discount on Black Friday, because what about people that might have bought that product a couple of weeks or so before? That's going to potentially, you know, sour business relationships. So someone like Peach Guitars, where it's like, once you bought one guitar from there, I'm presuming that a lot of people are going to have a good experience and then buy again from there. You want to maintain a good relationship with customers. So that was just some stuff on Black Friday that I found interesting at this time of year, when, you know, things that I've kind of had some cynical views on before. Another thing is, I looked on Jam Pedals was one thing that was coming up for me, and they got a 20% discount off at the moment, and I thought, well, that's kind of interesting. So Andertons are also slightly discounting them, but because Jam Pedals are selling them direct anyway, I think it comes out slightly cheaper even if you add the VAT on top. So something worth bearing in mind, because you've got some pedal manufacturers now that are doing direct to customer sales as well, and they're doing their own discounts, so it's maybe worth checking both if you're looking for a specific thing. So I've just gone onto the Thomann Cyber Week, and I've filtered by guitar effects pedals, and I think this is kind of interesting. So the way that I'm looking at this now is that I'm looking for a large discount, and if I'm not seeing a large discount, I'm presuming that these are just small little discounts to hopefully get people interested. But where I'm seeing a larger discount, I'm now looking at that as considering that as a thing which maybe they might have an overstock of, or maybe something that's going to be something that they're going to be discontinuing, not discontinuing from that point of view, but maybe this is not something that they are going to be selling for too much longer, or they're not shifting as many as they'd expected. They might have an overstock of it. Here you see there's a 5% delay on a Halo. Now the Halo, I think, is sold incredibly well. It's a great pedal from Keeley. But so, you know, so something like that, 5% off. Quad Cortex, 11% off. So I'm looking for bigger. So here, this is a pretty substantial minus 39% Keeley Parallax Spatial Generator. So that's a pretty impressive deal if you were looking for something like that. So instead of 229, 139. That's a nice deal that I'd potentially be interested in. Here's another big one. The Boss DM101, minus 27%. So 235 for that delay pedal. Pretty good deal, I think. The Boss SY1000 here, a 20% off deal.
I'm looking for the big ones. Here's another Earthquaker devices -45% off. So disaster transport, limited delay, 108. To me, that's quite a good deal for that. You know, US made, normal price 199. So that's, you know, catching my attention. What else have we got? Here's a huge discount, like the Pigtronics Gamma Drive here, 58% off. So if you're looking for like a small micro sort of drive, these have got to be things that have not sold as well or that they're got an overstock of. Is that fair to say? Here's another one, the Pigtronics Space Rip. I've actually done a demo of that. My wife bought me a Space Rip, so that's like a synth type octave down. I think someone commented on the video saying it's the worst pedal they've ever heard. Anyway, so if you wanted that for 58% off, sorry, Pigtronics. Yeah, that was just one person's opinion. That's not what I said. So not a ton there, and I think that kind of does sort of make the point that John at Peach Guitars was making. Like, they're not going to be making huge discounts on things that are already going to sell, which makes sense, I think. So you could maybe get a modest discount, you know, like a Strymon Dig for 226. That's a pretty good deal, right? But you're not necessarily going to get these huge discounts of a thing that you really wanted necessarily, because that's the reason why, because those things that you really wanted are probably already selling. They don't need to discount them in a huge way.
Let me know your thoughts and any great Black Friday bargains that you've seen. Let me know in the comments, because I'm on the lookout for some stuff, but I've not found specific things that have piqued my interest totally yet. Let me know your thoughts. Cheers.
What do you mean by that?